If you're a homeowner in the greater Edmonton area or thinking of becoming one, this video is for you. Here's the latest news on the market trends from June 2023. And don't forget to stick around to the end of this video so that you can learn about how the current real estate market relates to your personal real estate goals. June slowed down a tiny bit from the activity that we saw in May, but not much. It did not disappoint. There were 2.7 months of supply available in the greater Edmonton area, which means that we were in a seller's market. 4 to 6 months of inventory indicates a balanced market. Less than that is a seller's market. So that's what we were in. And over 6 months is a buyer's market. So if no more listings came to market going forward, it would take about 2.7 months to sell them all at the rate that we've been going. New listings were down 3.9% compared to May, and sales were down 4.6% compared to May. There were just under 2,600 transactions that took place in June. So when you consider that we've had about 11,000 transactions so far this whole year for 2023, that's not too shabby, with June making up about 23% of that total number of sales year to date. June of 2022 saw 2,593 transactions, and June of 2023 saw 2,596 transactions. So they're almost equal year over year. Very interesting. Average price. So the average price for a home in the greater Edmonton area right now, when we factor in all residential, is $412,000. This was a 2.3% decrease when we compare it with the $421,000 average transaction that we saw in May. Breaking it down by housing category, for detached homes, the average price was $500,000, for semi-detached, $383,000, and for townhouses and row houses, $258,000. So comparing this to May, detached homes saw a decrease in price from $512,000 to $500,000, which is about a 2.7% decrease. But interestingly, semi-detached remained pretty much the same price, and row houses actually saw a 1.7% increase. We'll talk more about why that could be in a sec here. Moving right along, the average list to sale price ratio in June was 97.5%. So properties were selling for 97.5% of list price overall, so just under asking. How long is it taking for properties to sell? On average, in June in the greater Edmonton area, it was taking 41 days for a property to sell. In May, it was about 42 days, so houses are going just slightly faster than they did last month, but things have remained pretty consistent. Last year in June, houses were selling in about 32 days, so it's taking slightly longer for properties to sell this year. Interest rates, hot topic. Okay. If you're thinking about buying real estate in the near future, the best mortgage rates as of this exact moment are about 5.15% for a 5-year fixed and about 5.85% for a 5-year variable, according to Chris Crawford, a top mortgage broker here in Edmonton with Invis. This, of course, is always going to depend on your own personal circumstances, so the only way to find out what your best rate is to speak with your mortgage broker. The next Bank of Canada interest rate announcement will happen tomorrow. And last month, the Bank of Canada increased its rates by 0.25% after a 4-month pause as rates were held steady to evaluate the effect of the last year's rate hikes on inflation. It was great to see the market remain so strong in June, and we didn't see the huge dip that we saw in June of 2022 when we compare it to May 2022, like what happened last year, because buyers are now accustomed to those new interest rates. The market was also slower at the beginning of the year, so this activity in June helped us gain some ground there. What seems to be happening is that the rates aren't really scaring buyers off now because life happens and people have to move. But we are seeing strong numbers as a result in the more entry-level price points. So row houses and duplexes, as well as older homes under that $400,000 mark, are getting lots of activity, and we've still been seeing multiple offers. We're still in a seller's market, so if you have a home like this to sell, it's a great time for you to do so and make a transition into that move up home that you've been working towards buying. If you're moving up into a home that's north of that $550,000 mark, you also won't be encountering as much competition as you would have in the last couple of years. If you don't have a home to sell, but you're hoping to get out of the rental market or you're relocating to the area, definitely line yourself up with a realtor that understands the local market and can help you gain a competitive edge in that buying process. At the end of the day, your situation is unique, whether you're buying or selling. So take any general market updates with a grain of salt. If you want a more accurate analysis for your property or you're thinking of buying and want to know more about any hidden opportunities that could affect you, request a free market evaluation or book a chat with me. I'll give you the facts with no added pressure. If you're interested, you can contact me to set up a meeting. My contact details are below, and I will see you again next month with an updated report, so stay tuned.